Technology, please step forward here for the Christian version of the prayers respectively.
Good evening all. Sallu ala Nabiyul Kareem. Sallu ala Nabiyul Kareem. Silence please, silence please. Sallu ala Nabiyul Kareem. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim wa ma barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim fil alamin innaka Hamidum Majid. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ولا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين.
Shall we pray? Father in heaven, we want to thank you for yet another opportunity to gather together. We thank you because you are a good God. We thank you because of your love. We thank you because of mercy. We thank you because of the life of our governor and his family. We thank you because of the young minds that have put this program together. We thank you, and we cannot thank you enough. We pray that at the end of the day, our gathering shall not be in vain. We thank you that by February 2023, our governor shall be declared President-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And at the end of the day, none of us shall be missing. In Jesus' precious name, I have prayed.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Alhaji Yahaya Bello, the youth-friendly executive governor of Kogi State and the leader of All Progressive Congress Kogi State, and above all, the White Lion of Kogi State. Your Excellency, Mrs. Rashidat Bello, wife of the governor of Kogi State and First Lady of Kogi State. My Lord, Honorable Justice John Olowosegun, the President, Kogi State Customary Court of Appeal. APC State Chairman, Honorable Abdullahi Bello, and his ESCO members, APC chieftains, and stalwarts here present. Senator Jibri Isa Echocho, Kogi East, Senator Yakubu Oseni, Kogi Central, and other distinguished senators of Federal Republic of Nigeria here present. All the honorable members of Kogi, of House of Representatives here present. Honorable members of Kogi State House of Assembly here present. Serving and former. Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Mr. Ayode Folashade Arike. The Chief of Staff, Honorable Pharmacist Abkarim Mohamed Jamiu Asuku. Head of Service, Mrs. Anna Odio. The Deputy Chief of Staff, Honorable Sunday Faleke. The State Security Advisor, Navy Commander Jerry Omodara retired. All the heads of security agencies in Kogi State or their representatives here present. Algon State Chairman, Honorable Taufik Issa, and all other executive chairmen from various local government councils in Kogi State here present. Commissioner for Youth and Sports, Kogi State. Please let us observe decorum, please. Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Sports, Kogi State, Honorable Musa Idris, and all other honorable commissioners in attendance. all the special on youth and student affairs, Honorable Jibril Olude, and all other special advisors, senior special assistants, all other political appointees, and top government functionaries here present. The President, National Youth Council of Nigeria, NYCN Ambassador Sukubo Sarah, Igbo Sukubo, and the leadership of the NYCN, all the chairmen, state chairmen from the 36 states of Federal Republic of Nigeria and FCT here present and their members. Kogi State local government coordinators of NYCN from the 21 local government areas. The President, Actor Guild of Nigeria, Comrade Emeka Rollers, and his team. The President, NYC honored awardees in our presence. You are all welcome. GYB Youth Group supporters, loyalists across the 21 local government areas of Kogi State and beyond here present. Other esteemed invited guests, other youths here present, members of the fourth estate of the realm, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, sir, today is very historic and spectacular indeed. You may all wish to recall that sometimes this year, the National Council of Women Societies, the umbrella that encompasses all the women folk across all the nooks and crannies of Federal Republic of Nigeria, deemed it fit to present a prestigious award to His Excellency, the Governor of Kogi State. Shall we put our hands together for him? Today, history is being made because of His Excellency youth inclusiveness in the government, in his government, New Direction government in Kogi State. The national leadership of NYCN has deemed it necessary, therefore, to give His Excellency a prestigious award tonight. Shall we put our hands together for His Excellency? Your Excellency, sir, we have two MCs here. One, his name is Segedudu. The other one is from Port Harcourt.
Thank you very much. And his amiable wife. At this point, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce my co-anchor in person of Treasure Timidare, Double T. He's a Kogi-born compere, by the grace of God, based in the city of Port Harcourt. At this point, very quickly, because I wouldn't want to belabor us with unnecessary commentaries and rhetorics. As a result of this, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite our own, the Chief of Staff to the Governor of Kogi State, Pharmacist Abdulkarim Mohammed Jamil Asuku, for his opening speech. I thought we can do better in the house here.
Your Excellency, the youth-loving Governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Yahaya Bello. Her Excellency, the wife of the Governor of Kogi State, Hajia Rashida Bello. Our august visitor for the day, in person of Ambassador Sokubo, the President of National Youth Council of Nigeria, and your esteemed members here present. Distinguished members of the State Executive Council, members of the National and State Assembly, distinguished invited special guests, the good people of Kogi State, members of the 4th Estate of the Realm, the loving youths and women of Kogi State, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, it may interest you to know that in his wisdom, Abraham Lincoln defined democracy as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Going by the way and manner in which His Excellency, our dear leader, have decided to carry the youth folks along in his government. You agree with me that there is no better way to define the leadership of His Excellency Yahaya Bello rather than to take it simply as the government of the youth, by the youth, and for the youth. This is consequent upon the fact that he has woven around himself a reputation of spotting wonderful young minds who have become drivers of our dear states today. Let me digress a little. When His Excellency took over the mantle of leadership in 2016, as a pharmacist trained in the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University of Nigeria, then I was working as a federal civil servant in Maritime Academy of Nigeria in Orom, as a governor who believed in the capacity of the young people. He didn't look at my age. Of course, then I was just 32 years of age. His Excellency appointed me as the Director General Protocol, Kogi State Government House. He did not just appoint me at that young age. His Excellency provided an enabling environment for me to discharge my responsibilities to the admiration of the good people of Kogi State, with the maximum cooperation and the help of my colleagues. And on the 14th of October 2019, when the opportunity presented himself before us towards the end of our first tenure, His Excellency further elevated me to the position of his Chief of Staff at the age of 35. He did not just stop there, because he so much believed in the energy and capacity of the young people. When the good people of Kogi State gave him the chance to further continue his assignment of salvaging the good people of Kogi State, on his inauguration for the second tenure in office, on the 27th January year 2020, His Excellency further said the need to reappoint me as his Chief of Staff at the age of 36. Of course, this is unprecedented. It is unprecedented. Standing here before you today is the youngest Chief of Staff in the whole world. With a gerontocratic past of saddling the old with the responsibility of governance in Nigeria, it takes a lion heart to deviate from such an established stereotypical act of relegating youth to ignoble roles. However, when Yahaya Bello took over in 2016, he ensured more than 80% of people who served in his first term and serving in his second term were below the age of 50. This is because in this era of dynamism in governance, a blend of sophistication and energy is needed to move our state forward, and the youth house the most adventurous minds that are eager and determined to excel using the power and artistry of the 21st century. Now, with an elder advisory council in place and a few appointments of some individuals who are old but young at heart, the governor in his wisdom ensure a balance between the older generation and the new generation of dynamic, pragmatic, sophisticated, and determined young leaders. With these distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Governor Yahaya Bello has simply built a reputation for himself as the governor of the youth. Most heartwarming is the nationalization of such reputation to the point that the youth across the country now see him as the man who showed the way, the man who led the way and protected their pride, prestige, rights, and powers. It is therefore not a surprise that the youths across the nation have seen in him the man who can put the vehicle of the nation in the youth gear to accelerate into progress and development. Apart from appointing the youth into various offices, the governor made history as the first governor to sign into law a Youth Development Commission, charged with the responsibility of promoting policy and programs that will turn our youth into great minds and employers rather than perennial job seeker, the old norm. It takes a young mind like His Excellency Yahaya Bello to understand the needs of young people. Setting up Kogi vigilante law, the governor has displayed an iron-cast commitment to molding the youth population into crime fighters rather than turning them into criminals like we had in the past. God forbid the old day. The vigilante services ensure security of our communities and also employment for the teeming youth of our dear states. Of course, recently, we have also added the police constabulary to the list. The agricultural policy of His Excellency, as well as other policy promoting entrepreneurial development in Kogi State, are tailored towards empowering our youths and making them self-reliant. The recent establishment of the Confluence University of Science and Technology in Osara is to further help build academic and industrial competencies and capacities among the youths. The governor is determined to raise the competent young people and make their services attractive even beyond the shore of this country. He has given us scholarship. He has sent some for sophisticated training abroad. He has intervened for many on healthcare issues. He has facilitated training of thousands of youth in blue-collar jobs. Now, our young boys and girls can tell when they will graduate from our citadels of learning without the fear of spending extra years as a result of industrial disputes by unions in our tertiary institutions. Who made this happen? His Excellency. We can only continue to say thank you for the show of love for the younger generation. Of course, today is not a speech-making day, but we just want to thank you as the Kogi youth for all he has done for us. He has taken bullets to protect us, and God's willing, we are ready to go all the way to ensure a Nigeria of our dream with our leader, His Excellency Yahaya Bello. It will be wrong if I end this little remark without appreciating our father in person of President Muhammadu Buhari for fulfilling his promise to the youth. The appointment of a young man as the head of anti-graft agency, EFCC, has given us hope that Mr. President will not stand on the way of the youth to reposition this nation come 2023. God bless GYB, God bless Kogi State, and God bless Nigerian youth. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for the Chief of Staff. Thank you for that wonderful speech. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to invite to please give us the opening speech the Kogi State Chairman of NYCN, Comrade Alonge Israel. Please, let's put our hands together as we receive the Kogi State Chairman of NYCN, Comrade Alonge Israel.
Build the youth! Build the youth! Build the youth! Another challenge, yo! GYB challenge, yo! PYB challenge, yo! GYB challenge, yo! To PYB challenge, yo! Kulu Kulu. I remain my humble self, distinguished Comrade Alonge Israel Femi, the State Chairman, National Youth Council of Nigeria. I'm here for a welcome address. Kogi State is a youth state. My fellow Nigerian colleagues, you are welcome to Kogi State, your own house. Youth are the strength of the nation. Our characteristic energy and capability supports the body polity. Your Excellency, is youthfulness. Your Excellency, is youthfulness. Ambassador Dr. Alhaji Yaya Adoza Bello. In our dear country today, Nigerian youth, the advocacy of a better youth as a nation's future is ripe for a manifestation, 2023. Of the many issues stifling the manifestation of youthful, resourceful, and productive leadership in Nigeria, lack of self-belief, pursuit of immoral values, indulgence in vices, improper mentorship, and crippling social, political, and economic factor ranked topmost. I will try to put these issues in perspective, covering 4 major areas where our host, His Excellency Yaya Adoza Bello, has ranked top in exemplary leadership. First, repositioning the misplaced education priority. No nation with eyes set on a better future can hope to progress without working huge investment in the educational sector. Not to bore you much, from the first speaker, the youngest chief of staff in Nigeria, they talked more about the educational revolution in Kogi State. And I want to let you all to know that His Excellency, with the evidence of littering the entire 21 local government area, has shown capacity sufficient to handle the educational needs of the nation. From his first tenure, he made education a major thematic area with a policy thrust aimed at improved quality of education and enhanced ICT skills at all levels. In order to maximize our teeming human capital resources, this is a strong indication he is posed at repositioning the Nigerian educational system. 2, addressing our questionable value system. What do we celebrate as a nation value and goals? Who do we celebrate in our country? These are important questions. Who answers gives insight into the moral fabric of any nation. Governor Yaya Bello, before the advent of his administration and over the period of his leadership in Kogi State, has shown courage, competency, capacity, comradeship, command, craftsmanship in leadership. His result is virtually in all aspects of governance, which speaks volume. As part of tonight's event, the nation and the body of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, who is presently at the forefront of a new Nigeria called Youth O'Clock, Nigerian Decide 2023. NYCN as a body is ready to use all our structures across all states, local government level, and across all wards and units of every community in Nigeria to make sure we fulfill the Nigerian dream of our own generation. And for us to fulfill this dream, we need a man, an insider, that have the full capacity and resources. It will be very difficult for somebody from the outside, which is not part of the present political system, to easily come. Yes, Nigerian youth might follow, but you know the cabal, what they could do. But since we have an insider already, it's an easy goal for us to achieve our Nigerian Decide dream come 2023. Consciousness. Many youth in Nigeria have remained politically active through political movements instead of engaging in political parties. Young men and women are active politically in universities, but very often disillusioned with political leadership and political institutions, thus excluded from policy development. But in Kogi State is a different ball game. The youth are given sense of belonging. The youth participate in policy making and implementation. It will interest you to know, because of the participation of National Youth Council of Nigeria Kogi State chapter in the political process of Kogi State, His Excellency deemed it fit and pronounced and announced and said that all 21 local government coordinators of NYCN in Kogi State be made secretary of each local government. That's the 003 of each local government. This has never happened in the history of Nigeria. He has chaired several, His Excellency has chaired several committees. The present committee he chaired is in the All Progressive Congress Party, recently managing the revalidation and registration exercise as a sensitization and mobilization of all youths, women, and people living with disabilities in Nigeria. And we in Kogi State, we've started doing our own sensitization and canvassing for more registration of young women, young youths, young persons in Kogi State. The Not Too Young to Run bill already is a fulfillment in Kogi State government. Most of my colleagues in other states, they ask me, how do we do it in Kogi State? And I told them the answer is simple. Where you have a young, resourceful governor, you open any doors. In Kogi State today, by special grace of God in my status, I opened doors easily. Other states don't sit with their commissioners. In Kogi State, we sit and interact with our commissioners the way we want, and other political appointees. And I want to, it will interest you to know that in Kogi State today, that 97% of youth participation in politics in Kogi State is topping the chart worldwide, according to a friend, which put me through to a word. He said, my governor, that he met His Excellency in Abuja, and he said, His Excellency, he's a female folk though. He said, His Excellency, I want to be like you. He said that word alone, that His Excellency will reply, if you want to be like me, then know what the values of a mother is like. That he, his own mother, that if not for his mother, that he value his mother, he won't be what he is today. And ever since then, the lady said she got home and gave her mom, for the first time in her life, 100,000. And he said ever since then, that has been a breakthrough in all spheres of our lives up to date. I want to assure you all, my friends and colleagues, we are not beyond salvaging the future of our nation through an evolving youth class. And tonight is another affirmation of leadership, role model we have in young governor, our host, His Excellency, Governor Yaya Adoza-Bello. Rather than make excuses, let's make progress. We must be the future we dream of. That is the only possible way to achieve our dream and get it right 2023. Today, in Kogi State, Your Excellency, sir, I was discussing with my colleagues, and they said how they wish they meet with you and reach out to your fellow colleagues to start giving them subventions in their various states. And I said, by the special grace of God, before they will leave, they will have an interactive section with you. If that will be granted, we will so much appreciate that, sir. In the host of others, I have an official vehicle that was given to me. They still ask me, how did I do it? I told them, it's because of the political process that we have in Kogi State. When youth is in charge, you get all you want to get. The 21 vehicles that was donated to all local government chairmen, coordinators today in Kogi State, it's a good sign of testimony to Kogi youth that with you today, if they have an interactive session with you, that in 2023, you will never forget them. That they want to be part of the political process with full sense of belonging. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, let's put our hands together for my president. Because by the grace of God, I'm still a youth. Youth, put your hands together for our president now, Kogi State chapter. Thank you very much. The last dinner we had here, I said it. I said my governor is everywhere, yet it's not MTN. When you open the newspaper, you see Yaya Bello. When you turn on your TV, it is about GYB to PYB. Your radio, especially in Kogi and its environment, is GYB. And I became afraid to even open my refrigerator because I don't want to see GYB inside, because it's everywhere. Let's put our hands together for the responsible and the responsive governor of Kogi State. At this point, on a lighter mood, I'd like to invite for entertainment for 5 minutes. And I'm emphasizing 5 minutes because we are time bad. The Kogi State Council for Art and Culture. Please, you have the floor.
lead me, and who go lead we land. No be anybody go decide for we, oh. Yaya Bello, now you for president. Yaya Bello, now you for president. No be anybody go decide. Yaya Bello, we support your vision. We lay your back, light in the air. We lay your back, light in the air. Democracy, give me right to God. Who go lead we, and who go lead we like? No be anybody go decide for we. Yaya Bello, now you for president. Yaya Bello, now you for president. 2023, now you will want. Yaya Bello, we support your vision. We lay your back, light in the air. 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 Ìjọ wọlé wá wò, tẹ̀lá ọmọ kí mẹ́rin bọ́ bá dé. Eré yìí làwọn ṣe, tẹ̀lá ọmọ kí lẹ́rí bọ́ bá ṣe. Ìjọ wọlé wá wò, tẹ̀lá ọmọ kí lẹ́rí bọ́ bá ṣe. Kárẹ̀lé ọba ò ká fẹ̀yìn kọ́mọ́, kárẹ̀lé ọba ò ká fẹ̀yìn. Àràkà òrìrè ládéjùmọ̀ ń dá, kárẹ̀lé ọba ò ká fẹ̀yìn. Ó fẹsẹ̀ gó ìdè ògbé, Adéjùmọ̀ fẹsẹ̀ gó ìdè ògbé lọ. Láyé Olúgbọ́, ó kẹ́gbọ́rùn méje, ọmọ ìwé lórí. Láyé Àrẹ̀sà, ó kẹ́gbọ́rùn mẹ́fà, ọmọ. Láyé Ìgbàyí, mo ra mọ́tò, mo kọ́lé, mo ra sọ́yàn, bàbá aṣọ àkọlé. Lẹ́yìn òdu, ó lè gbé ilẹ̀ yóò du àkọlé. Sọ́bùtà Nàìjíríà, Kaijikwaka. Sọ́bùtà Nàìjíríà, ẹgbẹ́ Nàìjíríà, ẹgbẹ́ Nàìjíríà, tí gbogbo wa ní. Kùdàdà Nàìjíríà, Sọ́bùtà Nàìjíríà, ẹgbẹ́ Nàìjíríà, Nàìjíríà nàmúne. Kùdàdà Nàìjíríà, Sọ́bùtà Nàìjíríà, ẹgbẹ́ Nàìjíríà, Nàìjíríà nàmúne. Bàbá, ìjọ pẹlẹsẹ, ní ọgbọ́n. Eba! Samarina ya mata mutantaro, mata saka samu Nigeria, temuzo mugina Nigeria, temako yan Allah ubangiji, temaka waka samu Nigeria, saka samu lewa, Samarina ya mata mutantaro, mata saka samu Nigeria, tekuzo mugina
Thank you.
Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for them. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Please, let's put our hands together for them. Come on now. Thank you very much. Kogi State Art and Cultural Center. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wasane!
You will still have another time. If you stop now, we will call you again. But if you don't stop, we will not call you again. Thank you very much.
Hey! 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 Mama! 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 Hey! 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 Mama! 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 Mama!
Put your hands together for them. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please don't blame them. They are so excited. Don't blame them. Please, once again, let's put our hands together for the Art Council of Kogi State. Please put your hands together for them. And of course, I want to let you know that the National Youth Council President is here. National President from Niger Delta. Please, let's put our hands together for him. And I'm sure he is here to speak on behalf of the entire Niger Delta. And that's where I have lived for 21 years. So it's not easy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, we'd like to hear some goodwill messages. And then we were going to call on the National Assembly, our Senator, Senator Jubril Echocho, please, representing Kogi East, to come and speak on behalf of the National Assembly members from Kogi State. Please, let's put our hands together for our distinguished Senator.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kogi State, our amiable Yahya Bello, Your Excellency, the wife of the Governor of Kogi State, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Kogi State, the Chief of Staff, to His Excellency, various invited guests, the commissioners here present, the various representatives of various interests here present today. I can't mention you all. I want to welcome you all to this occasion. First, I want to say that since Yahya Bello, the governor of Kogi State, came to be in Kogi State to man the affairs of the people of Kogi State, the youths have all been carried along from the very day he took over power. The youths have been engaged in various productive activities in Kogi State since the governor came into power. Most of these youths were hitherto used by politicians and dumped, even when they had all the qualifications to hold various key positions in government. They were used and dumped. We now have a paradigm shift, and that is attributable to His Excellency Yahaya Adoza Bello. I want to thank you very much for that paradigm shift. Today, the youths form the core spindle around which the governance of Kogi State revolves. I only pray to Almighty God that we will be able to replicate what is happening in Kogi State now at a higher level and at no short a distance. The Nigerian youths, your future is squarely in your hands. Kogi State has laid a good example, and we are praying, like I did say, that we should be able to replicate this at a higher pedestal. And I think you know what I mean. We all put everything to prayer, and nothing is beyond God. Like I did say here some times ago, we all have the right to aspire to the #1 position in this country. Nobody should play a second fiddle. I want to believe that this is a divine call. Few weeks ago, women were here celebrating His Excellency because he has been able to equally engage women in the governance of Kogi State. Today, the youths are here celebrating our governor. And if you look at the voting strength of the women and youth in Nigeria, you are talking of over 70%. So what are we talking about? If the youth in Nigeria are clamoring for His Excellency, and the women in Nigeria are clamoring for His Excellency, I think the elderly ones should just follow suit. On this note, I want to thank you very much, and I wish you the best of the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, your distinguished Senator Jibril Issa Echocho, for those kind words. Having heard that, very quickly I would like to invite Mr. Emeka Rollers, President Guild of Actors. But as he comes forward, I think it is important to note the fact that one of us, His Excellency's own man, is the consultant for this program, the MD CEO of Gold Consult, Engineer Kayode Adebayo. I think he deserves recognition. Thank you very much. Mr. Emeka Rollers.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
She cries. She cries in anguish and in pain. She bears the scourge of her grief. She toils in vain for justice and succumbs to silence. He gloats over his malady. Like a beast, he pounces with no remorse. Her cry means nothing. Her pain feeds her shame. Like an orphan, she's left to grieve in solitude. But no more will she cry in vain. Her adversaries will henceforth bear the brunt of their cruelty. Rape is evil. Rape is a plague, a pandemic of monumental consequences. We must unite and kick it out of our society.
Connect with NTA and stand against rape and rapists. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online, or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. Application for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Welcome to Abuja, the place that unites Nigeria.
Anybody who is exposed can contract coronavirus, but not everybody has a fair chance of surviving the disease. Data has shown that older persons stand a higher risk of dying. Are you 55 years and above? Do you have pre-existing health conditions? Please safeguard yourself and minimize your risk. Observe all COVID-19 protocols.
If you hear of anyone with high fever, dry cough, and difficulty in breathing, please do not go near such a person because they could be a victim of coronavirus infection. Call someone else or the NCDC to assist. Please use your prescribed medications regularly. Exercise around your home and eat well so that you can remain healthy and strong. For an older adult, to beat coronavirus is not to contract it at all.
This message is brought to you by Gerontology Association of Nigeria, the Geriatrics Association of Nigeria, and Dave Mokoro Foundation in conjunction with the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app.
Hello and good evening. It is a Wednesday, but I won't say another Wednesday because this is like no other Wednesday. What? with students of Government Science College in Kagara, Niger State, some of their teachers with family members in captivity. That is what we will open with. Of course, the Federal Executive Council met today and some roads will be better for it. On the package tonight, it's the usual business news, stories on agriculture, the Shasha crisis, peace and peaceful coexistence, plus health. Now, that is a brief outline of what we have in stock for you. Let me not talk much now. My heart, like yours, is very heavy. Let us just get on it. The business of today. I mean, after all, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I am Fatima Umar Buba, and this is News Extra. You're welcome. The Niger state government says it will implore all options except paying ransom to free all those in captivity, including the students and staff of Government Science College, Kagara, in Rafi local government area. Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, who stated this at a press briefing, however, disclosed that a student of the Government Science College, Kagara, lost his life during the abduction. Mukhtar Abubakar reports.
Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, who acknowledged that it is a trying period for the state and indeed Nigeria, solicits the support of the federal government in rescuing those in captivity.
Another incident occurred today, Wednesday, the 17th, 2021, at about 2 a.m. at Government Science College, Kagara, where 27 students, 3 staff, and 12 members of their families were kidnapped. Unfortunately, one student was shot dead. I'm deeply concerned at these recent sad events and therefore call on the federal government to deploy all resources while we are looking at all options, both kinetic and non-kinetic, to ensure the safe return of victims of both incidences.
The governor ordered the closure of all boarding schools in Munya, Mariga, Rafi, and Shiroro local government areas of the state until further notice.
We will not rest or sleep until we bring them back to their families. We are therefore appealing to all Nigerians to continue to pray for the safe return of our wives, fathers, daughters, sons. We need the understanding and cooperation of Nigerians at these trying moments to unanimously condemn all acts of criminality, banditry, and kidnapping with one voice.
Meanwhile, the federal government delegation comprising of the National Security Advisor Babagana Munguno, the Inspector General of Police Muhammad Adamu, the Minister of Information and Culture Alhajlai Mohammed, and that of the Interior arrived Niger State Government House Mina in response to the kidnapping of the students and others at the Government Science College Kagara. In Mina, Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
In the meantime, President Muhammad Buhari has received reports of the brazen attack on Government Science College, Kagara, Rafi local government area of Niger State, of which about 27 staff and students were abducted by gunmen. Following these reports, the President has directed the armed forces and police to ensure immediate and safe return of all the captives. The President has also dispatched to Bina, Niger State, a team of security chiefs to coordinate the rescue operation and meet with state officials, community leaders, as well as parents and staff of the college. President Buhari assures Nigerians of the support of his administration to the armed forces in their brave struggle against terrorism and banditry, and urged them to do all that can be done to bring an end to this menace and avoid such cowardly attacks on schools in the future. And more condemnations are trailing the abduction of the Government Science College Kagara. The Northern Governors Forum, in its message, says members are distressed by the spate of attacks and abductions of students, and in this case, staff and members of their families. The forum notes that the incident is another attempt to deprive Niger State and the North of the efforts to overcome illiteracy and poverty. The statement further says northern governors will collectively work in solidarity with their Niger State counterpart to swiftly defeat insecurity. Similarly, the Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Talon, has also condemned the abduction at Gagara Government Science School. In a statement, the minister, as a mother, is asking the abductors to have the fear of God and exercise compassion by releasing the young Nigerians. She urged parents of the abducted students to remain calm and allow government to come to the rescue of those abducted. Meanwhile, the Niger State Governor, Abubakar Sani Bello, says his priority is to ensure the safe release of the students and other people under the custody of kidnappers. He spoke to NTA while on the spot assessment of the GSS Gagara. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara monitored the conversation.
Not only this case, but we had other cases, especially in Shuluro local government, Mariga local government, Munya. We lost some vigilantes yesterday in Munya, and Rafi local government, which is this very local government. This local government has been under attack by bandits for quite a while now, but this is more emotional.
It is indeed one incident too many, and Governor Abubakar Sani Bello unveiled his next line of action.
And like I said, I'm hoping to see the president later tonight to discuss in details some of these issues and what I think we need to do. But first of all, we need to bring everyone back home safely. So there will be our immediate priority and objective right now is to bring everyone back home.
In addition, Governor Sani Bello promised to review the security architecture of Niger State.
Considering the fact that Niger State is the largest state in Nigeria, so it is difficult for us to patrol the entire landscape. We have huge forest reserves. We are monitoring the situation carefully. I'm very hopeful that all the victims will be released. At the moment, there's a motion in place that is going on, and hopefully we should hear some good news.
The governor assured that part of the immediate strategy to stop the menace is to ensure that everyone is involved in government programs and activities. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Thank you so much, Salihu Abdullahi. And for more updates on the abductors, we have in Gagara my colleague Abdullahi Mohammed. And Abdullahi Mohammed, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good evening, Fatima. I can hear you clearly.
Okay, can you just tell us what is happening now? Like an insight, an update of what is going on presently.
Normally ends their normal activities by between 9 and 10 o'clock. That is the decision of the local government. Once it is 10 o'clock, everybody has to go into their houses, and then subsequently the security agencies take over patrol of the community. Here I have an indigene of Kagara who I would like to introduce to you so that at least he will be able to tell his experience right from this early this morning when these school children.
Well, we apologize for the poor network. Abdullahi, if you can hear me, we'll sure get back to you to hear what the man is going to say, his experience and all of that. But for now, let's move on. President Muhammadu Buhari has assured that all necessary measures have been energized to ensure the safe release of the abducted Government Science College students, some staff and members of their families. This was contained in a message of comfort by members of a high-powered federal government delegation led by the Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed to Niger State, and Anthony Forson has that.
The federal government delegation were in Niger State to assure the citizens and government of being conscious of its responsibility of securing lives and property in the country.
We are very glad at what we have witnessed when we came, and the fact that the governor with his cabinet is actually exploring both kinetic and non-kinetic approaches to ensure the safe release of all the victims.
The federal government further said it will adopt all possible strategies to ensure the release of those in captivity.
The government will not surrender its sovereignty, or at the same time would clearly adopt all means possible to ensure the safe release of these victims.
The Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Abakar Adamu, and National Security Advisor Babagana Munguno assured of confluence of efforts, both political and military, for the safe return of those in captivity.
We have deployed additional 4 units of mobile policemen.
Federal government will apply everything at its disposal, both kinetic and non-kinetic, reconciliatory measures to get all the students back safe.
The Niger State Governor Abakar Sani Bello has briefed the delegation on the unfortunate incidents, saying their coming to the state indicates the federal government's concern. Emena Hussaina Musa, NTA News.
Well, thank you so much, Hussaina Musa. That was her report, not that of Anthony Forson. And we heard that the network is clear with Abdullahi, so let's go back to him to find out more on the Gagara abduction. So Abdullahi, it's over to you. Abdullahi, can you hear me? Okay, the network is still very, very poor. So let's just move on till we get it clear and done. Ways and means of sustaining the prevailing peace enterprise in Zamfara State dominated discussions as President Muhammadu Buhari granted audience to the State Governor Bello Muhammad Mutawalli. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
It was a closed-door engagement between President Muhammadu Buhari and Governor Bello Muhammad Mutawalli of Zamfara State. The meeting, which lasted about 1 hour, was in furtherance of efforts at achieving and sustaining peace, unity and stability across Nigeria for enhanced socio-economic development.
In terms of security, particularly in Nigeria, everybody knows what is happening today. But in Zamfara, we thank Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us peace in the state. We discussed much about it, and I appreciate his effort for what he has been doing to the state. Even today, about 358 special police forces were deployed to Zamfara State to tackle some challenges in the state. So we're on course.
Governor Bello Mutawalli maintains that the prevailing peace enterprise in the state is partly attributable to confidence-building measures and dialogue his administration initiated with bandits, which he believes is worth emulating. The governor also made a case for his colleagues in the country to embrace ranching, otherwise called the Ruga settlement scheme, towards putting a stop to open grazing, migration, and resultant conflicts between herders and farming communities.
Like the Ruga that we are doing, we have so many social amenities. We have schools, we have hospital, we have veterinary clinic, we have market, and we have even mini stadium that they can be doing their sharu like end of the year. And you can create like a dairy factory so that some income should be going to them. So, but if we allow them migrating from one place to another, that is where the problem is. But I believe very soon the Nigerian Governors Forum, we are going to discuss about that so that we can be able to know what action all the governors will take, and that will be the end of all the crises.
Governor Matawalli is one of the northern governors that recently visited southwest Nigeria following recent happenings in the region. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Abduction of school children in Nigeria is becoming a serious social problem. The latest being the incident in Government Science School, Agara, Niger State. Worried by the trend, the Senate has called on the President to declare a state of emergency on insecurity in Nigeria. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
Senate reconvened into a sober atmosphere at Wednesday's plenary, following the reports of the abduction of some students and teachers at Government Science School in Kagara, Niger State. Senator Sani Musa brought in the motion which condemned the abduction and called for massive joint security operations to rescue the students, fish out the perpetrators and destroy their hideouts.
The President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, to consider and implement the recommendations of the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Nigerian Security Challenges, dated March 17, 2020, as a holistic response to the security challenges across the country.
I am sure everybody here has stories to tell about the security challenges that we are facing.
So there is need for our security agencies and government to ensure that we come up with a strategy of ensuring security in schools.
Meanwhile, the Zamfara State Caucus in the Senate briefed Senate correspondents.
Dialogue with the repentant bandits with the view to reintegrate them into the society. While the dagger approach was to ensure that the unrepentant bandits pays the full weight of the law.
Back to plenary, where the Senate, through a motion by Senator Ifeanyuba, mandated its Committee on Marine Transport to intervene in the alleged exorbitant fees charged by shipping companies on Nigerian-bound cargoes. The bill to repeal the Quarantine Act and to enact the National Health Emergency Act, sponsored by Senator Chukwuka Otazi, and the Abuja Geographical Information System Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Hassan Mohammed, passed second reading.
Part 5 of the bill deals with the prevention of international spread of infectious diseases, where the President has reason to believe that a dangerous infectious disease may be introduced into Nigeria through international contacts.
We can pass this bill for the good of the people of the FCT and indeed Nigerians who will own property in the FCT so that they can have proper documentations.
Senate has confirmed the nomination of Ahohu Adolphus for appointment as the Auditor General for the Federation, with emphasis on the independence of the office. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
In the meantime, the House of Representatives wants other service chiefs designate to hit the ground running, which explains it's setting up a special ad hoc committee to screen the appointees nominated by the President. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports on the screening held Wednesday.
This special ad hoc committee, with membership drawn from the House Committees on Defense, Army, Air Force and Navy, believes the service chiefs designates have their jobs cut out for them in view of the myriad of security breaches in various ships and forms in parts of the country. Chairman of the ad hoc committee acknowledged that Nigeria is blessed with brave and gallant soldiers, but the armed forces require a solution-oriented leadership.
From the inception of this ninth House of Representatives, national security has been discussed more than 200 times at plenary. Yet the nation is still grappling with diverse and increasing security challenges, despite some successes recorded by the gallant men and women of our armed forces.
Minister of Defense Bashir Magashiri assured that the armed forces is alert to its constitutional role and ready to checkmate security breaches.
We are prepared more than ever before to subordinate the military to the civil authority. That we will do in order to promote the cohesion and national unity in the country.
The four service chiefs designate Major General Lucky Rabo, Major General Ibrahim Atahiru, Rear Admiral Awal Gambu, and Air Vice Marshal Isiaka Mao for Defense, Army, Navy and Air Force respectively, gave a brief on their vision.
I intend to see a very professional armed forces, an armed forces that is effective, an armed forces that is agile, an armed forces that is result-oriented, and of course, that is loyal to constituted authority.
Loyalty and sacrifice to the fatherland. Dependability will be on the Nigerian Army capacity and capability to accomplish mission.
Leverage on all factors of national location, technology, training, teamwork, and synergy to re-energize the Nigerian Navy and enhance her as a well-motivated and ready naval force.
Ensure the integrity of airspace by gaining and maintaining control of the air while retaining a credible capability to fulfill other air power tasks demanded by national defense and security imperatives.
The screening was conducted behind closed doors. The ad hoc committee that conducted the screening of the service chiefs is expected to submit a report containing recommendations on the confirmation of the service chiefs to the House for consideration and approval. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
In another development, the Federal Executive Council has approved over 60 billion naira for the construction, rehabilitation and completion of critical roads infrastructure in the Federal Capital Territory and other parts of the country for enhanced socio-economic development. Works and Housing Minister Babatunde Fashola and his FCT counterpart Mohammed Musa Bello announced this while briefing journalists after the council's meeting. State House correspondent Adam Sambo reports that funds have also been approved for improved water supply.
President Muhammadu Buhari presided over the meeting, 5th for the year 2021 and 34th to be held virtually in compliance with the COVID-19 safety advisory. 11 memoranda were considered and approved by the council, out of which 5 emanated from the FCT.
The 5 memos presented all have to do with infrastructure.
The minister, Muhammad Musa Bello, said out of the 30 billion naira approved for roads in the FCT, 3.4 billion is to open up sections of the institution and research district of Abuja, while 1.8 billion naira for the construction of access road and car park for the light rail station at Kagini.
Kagini is a community just by the Kubwa Expressway. And that access road is to link the station with the Kubwa Expressway so that commuters coming into the city from that northern flank can use the facilities of the station to use the Abuja light rail into the city. The third memo, which is for infrastructure, is an augmentation of the existing contract for the Southern Parkway, which is the road under construction currently that commences from the Christian Center right through the NTA and busting out at the Ring Road in Kaura district.
Still in the FCT, 1.4 billion naira is to be expended on the rehabilitation of Buhari Law School Road through Kuchiko to Ija and 3.5 billion naira for Kase Feeder Road at Gwagwalada.
It's a road that is about 15 kilometers, including one bridge of 50 meters.
Works and Housing Minister Babatunde Fashola was also granted approval for the completion of Benin Ore, Ajegbandele Shagamu Road at 22.8 billion naira, as well as 4.6 billion naira for the construction of a 9-way underground cable and telecommunication facility dock along Akwanga Kefi Makurdi Highway.
The third one was for the design and development of an automation process for the issuance of certificates of occupancy in respect of federal government lands. And the final one was for the construction of 4 by 20 meter span bridge at kilometer 18 along Langtang Wase Road in Plateau State for 2.867 billion.
FICA Gadaka Water Supply Project in Yobe State, started in 2003 and abandoned in 2007, is to be completed at 551.1 million naira.
We've taken a policy in the ministry that going forward, as much as possible, we'll be using solar systems to power our water schemes. And accordingly, this was done in the case of this project, plus also an extension of the pipeline to cover more areas, because between 2003 and now, obviously the two towns would have expanded.
The council has also approved the extension of consultancy services for the supervision of Jerry Earth Dam project in Katsina State, revised for completion in 2018 at 310 million naira. In the meantime, the council observed a moment of silence in honor of the late Chief Lateef Jokande, former governor of Lagos State, who served as Minister of Works under the Abuja administration. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Up ahead on News Extra, Orthodox Christians begin 40 days of spiritual rejuvenation as an Amazon joins the Golden Age Club with doses of eulogy and outpour of well wishes trailing. Then I leave you to guess as we take our first break. Join us again.
Can you see me now? We're just having a good time, and I'm feeling so good tonight.
I dey come now, you go see me now. You go.
Call your body and everybody, yeah. Make we start to the corner.
Where you dey now? You go see me now.
Everybody they dance.
Where you dey now? You go see me now. I fine, sir. Even me, I surprised.
Hey, where you at? Mexico, even Jericho, I don't go let you go.
Hello, how are you?
Tell us one truth nobody knows.
I like to steam it from my mama's pot.
Glow, the best data plans in town. Dial *777#.
On behalf of my colleagues, I extend our congratulations to Your Excellency Dr. Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, First Lady, Federal Republic of Nigeria, for attaining the golden age of 50. I also want to use this remarkable occasion to celebrate your numerous efforts within the 6 years of your First Ladyship with your Future Assured program under Aisha Buhari Foundation. Your life history and achievement have been inspiration to the younger generation. As a result, I have authored a book titled Aisha Buhari Being Different, which documents your colossal achievements to be presented to you as a special gift at this special day on your birthday. Congratulations.
Airtel is saying thank you to all loyal customers in the Airtel Thanks Cash Token Rewards. Each subscriber stands a chance to win up to 100 million naira every week. To opt in, dial *479# and follow the prompts. To qualify, simply recharge your Airtel number. Each cash token gets you an 8 naira instant cashback, plus a chance to win up to 100 million naira weekly in the National Cash Token Draw, showing every Saturday by 9:30 p.m. on AIT and 8 p.m. on Pop Central DSTV channel 189. All transactions done on *479# are rewarded with more cash tokens, and you can also check your cash token balance via the same code. Only loyal customers of the smartphone network are entitled to the Airtel Cash Token Reward. For more information, simply dial *479# or visit www.airtelthanks.ng. Terms and conditions apply.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Northeast Development Commission wishes to announce the formal graduation ceremony of the pioneer beneficiaries of the NEDC ICT training program, presentation of certificates and starter packs to the graduates in Damaturu, Yobe State. The commission will also distribute learning materials to public and private primary schools, COVID-19 preventive items and agricultural input to organized groups as well as security agencies in the state. Special guest of honor and chief host, His Excellency Alhaji Muimala Buni, Executive Governor, Yobe State. Chairperson of the occasion, Honorable Khadija Waziri Bukar Abba, Ofika, Chairperson House Committee on Northeast Development Commission. Host Muhammad G. Alkali, Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, Northeast Development Commission. Father of the day, His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Muhammad Ibn Abali Muhammad Idris, CON, Emir Ofika and Chairman Yobe State Council of Chiefs. Date Thursday, February 18, 2021. Time 11 a.m. prompt. Venue Banquet Hall, Government House, Damaturu. Attendance is strictly by invitation in compliance with COVID-19 protocol. Announcer, Organizing Committee.
Influenza. It is a contagious respiratory illness caused by influenza virus. Some of the symptoms include fever, headache, muscle or body aches, sore throat, and a runny nose. In some cases, it can lead to death. The influenza virus is easily transmitted in crowded places such as schools and nursing homes. All age groups can be affected. However, pregnant women, children 6 months to the age of 5 years, the elderly, individuals with chronic medical conditions, and health workers are at higher risk. The best way to prevent the flu is by getting a flu vaccine every year. Get your children vaccinated against influenza every year. Ask your healthcare professional for influenza vaccination in a clinic, hospital, or pharmacy.
Nigeria is too big a nation to have just a few people making decisions. We all have to get involved. We all have to be heard. People always talk like there are two Nigeria, the government and the people, when in actuality the people are the government. Fixing Nigeria isn't a one-man program. It is all of ours collectively. Therefore, we must all get involved by participating actively in the system that brings forth good leadership. I would like to see a Nigeria where the bond we share is stronger than our tribal, gender, age, class, and religious differences. A Nigeria where everybody's voice counts. Get involved. Register now to join the All Progressives Congress. I am Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State, and I approve this message.
Good to have you back. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu says the Commission plans additional polling units before the next general elections to avoid congestion during voting, while availing voters the opportunity for observing COVID-19 protocols. Hassan Law reports that the chairman stated this at a meeting with members of the Arewa Consultative Forum in Kaduna.
According to the INEC chairman, since 1996, the number of polling units were more than 120,000 to serve 50 million voters, and in 1999, the number of eligible voters exceeded 84 million with the same polling units.
We contacted all groups nationwide, and some have started giving us dates. One of the associations or groups that has given us a date is the Area Consultative Forum. So we just see the opportunity of the meeting of the organs to come and brief them. But going forward, we'll also interact with all other sociocultural associations as they give us dates nationwide.
We also understand the explanations. So considering what they have, the fact that since 1996, the polling units have not been increased, we think that it's necessary for the convenience of democracy.
Professor Yakubu says the organization will continue with the interaction across all stakeholders. In Kaduna, I am Hassan Lawan Shatima, NTA News.
And from Kaduna, we head to Lagos. Illegal activities along the Lagos waterfront have persisted, posing environmental, security and maritime challenges for water transportation. To change this narrative, an enforcement team of the federal government has begun demolition of illegal structures along the coastline. Dotun Ogunyemi has the report.
These are illegal shanties constructed along the Lagos coastline of Lekki. Although they have been illegally occupied for years, the clearance and demolition became necessary following the expiration of an eviction notice over concerns of security threats and navigational challenges posed to maritime activities.
We discovered that most of all these area boys, these bad boys, if they commit their atrocities on the highway here, they use this place as their hideout.
And at the same time, blocking the navigable channels in Lagos State. So we feel that it can no longer be tolerated. After this, the Lagos area office will take possession of it because it falls within our right of way. we will now decide what government can do with it.
The National Inland Waterways Enforcement Team also raided some areas in Ikoyi and Banana Island where illegal land reclamation has persisted despite warnings. The enforcement, according to NIWA, continues as the agency has served eviction notices to illegal occupants of areas along the vast Lagos coastline. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
National monuments play an important role in preserving the integrity of nations and are also symbols of pride that enable people appreciate the past better. One of such monuments is the Olojoba, demolished in 2016. The monument is about to be rebuilt after an agreement signed by the parties involved. Adeola Komiakere reports.
The 161-year-old Ilojoba on Lagos Island, precisely at the Tinubu Square, happens to be a national monument that suffered a deadly blow. Originally known as Casa de Fernandez Restaurant and Bar by its original owner, the Fernandez family, it was sold to the late Alfred Olaya.
The Brazilian house was bought by my grandfather, Alfred Olaya. He saw it in the paper dailies, advertising it for sales by the Ivan and Bonner solicitors. Then they made a competitive for the buying, which it fell on my grandfather. Our bid is the highest, and they paid for it. I wrote it down at his name, and that was in 1934. My grandfather never lived in the house. We went back to Calabar, where he was staying.
The building, after 100 years, was declared a national monument and handed over to the National Commission for Museums and Monuments. The historic Brazilian-style architecture was sadly demolished in 2016 by some family members and developers. A lawsuit instituted in 2018 dragged on until the new Director General of the National Commission for Museums and Monuments, Professor Abba Tijani, came on board.
It's very unfortunate that this building was brought down. It was a magnificent building in the Brazilian architectural style, and we thought that that building needs to be put back again, so that people will see the beauty of such a monument in the heart of Lagos.
Then an MOU was signed to the delight of all parties involved. The signing of the MOU also means there must be an out-of-court settlement. Former occupants and neighbor of the Brazilian structure share memories of the building, what they felt after its demolition, and their thoughts on another building replacing it.
When we reached that stage, I was feeling very happy that my children, my grandchildren, happens to know about that place.
I live in the building since I was 8 years old. I'm so happy, and I'll be very happy that God gave me the life to see it in the mighty name of Allah.
It's pain us where the kind of monument is demolished. It's one of the commercial something that make Nigeria great, make Lagos State great, apart from this Tinubu square.
The building will have some commercial, outfit so that it can generate revenue. So for the family and the property developers that are going to put up the structure. And then the museum will have a gallery where we'll do an exhibition and we'll look after the monument where it is being restored. So it is really a good thing in this center of Lagos, like this place, to have such kind of a monument put back again.
One of the artifacts preserved from the demolition, the angel that adorned the top of the building, was presented to the museum for safekeeping at the signing of the MOU. In Lagos, Adeola Kamiakeri, NTA News.
An amazing development there. Spells of drought on the heels of climate prediction is usually dreaded by household farmers who know little or nothing about how to avoid losses. This farming season may not be as frustrating even when it is coming with a drought period of at least 5 weeks. You want to know why? Well, Abdullah Mohammed will guide us.
So the highlights of this year is that there will be dry spell, which may span in some places up to about 5 weeks.
This is bad news for Adamu and Usman, farmers whose practice is guided by unscientific assumptions and predictions. But for now, the most important task before them is clearing their farmlands in anticipation of the showers from above. Showers they are not certain of its arrival.
I am expecting rainwater, I think maybe after 3 months.
Just like Adamu and Usman, Nigeria has about 40 million household farmers who are expected to be informed about how to maneuver against the short spell of drought that we expect this rainy season. To one of the cradles of extension services I headed. This is one of the places foot soldiers who are responsible for putting the records of the patterns of rainfall straight to the likes of Adamu and Usman are groomed. The executive director of these outstanding institutions, Professor Emmanuel Ikani, came with bold ideas he says have helped in separating the stones from the grains.
We normally train what we call the extension, who are actually the TOT, or what we call the TOT, training the trainer. Then it trickles down to the farmers. Then we back it up with publications. We back it up with mass media. We back it up with agric broadcast. And these things are done in the language that is peculiar to all the zones. We speak to our farmers in their mother's tongues.
This is just one of the several methods the men who do the town crying job in remote places do to sustain Nigeria's drive for food security. And with the drums of the town criers taking on villages to villages, there is high hopes that millions of farmers in the fold of Adamu and Usman will soon get the latest gist on this year's rainfall pattern. In Abuja, Abdullah Mohammed, NTA News.
We also can't wait to get the latest gist. Christian faithful have been enjoined to use the period of Lent to repent of their wrongdoings, rededicate themselves to God, and seek His mercies through intense fasting and prayer for peace and unity in the country. Veronica Emmanuel reports that Reverend Jacob Ibitan of NTA Chapel of Resurrection made the appeal in his sermon during the Ash Wednesday service that commences the Lent season.
Ash Wednesday is a spiritual exercise that ushers in the 40 days fasting and prayers of the Lenten period. Explaining the significance of the religious practice, the clergy say it is a way of reminding Christians that dust they are and unto dust they shall return.
Ashes is an ancient custom which is a symbol of penitence, a symbol of sense of worthlessness, that whatever you think you are is God that made you, a sign that you are dust, and unto dust you will return, teaching us to be humble.
Margaret Stephen and other worshippers are full of expectations during the period as they pledge commitment to renewal of their lives.
It's the time of us drawing closer to God Almighty to seek for His mercies and forgiveness.
What we need to do, go through a little of what He went through.
It's time for us to sit back and see how well we fared. God called us to certain assignments. Are we really walking in line with His will? So for me, it's really a time I sit back and reflect on my life and see how well I've fared and make amends.
This ancient tradition, the clergy also say, is to remind mankind on the sufferings of Jesus Christ for the redemption of the world. In Abuja, Veronica Emmanuel, NTA News.
Now, the All Progressives Congress has celebrated with the wife of the President and Nigeria's First Lady, Aisha Buhari, on the occasion of her 50th birthday. In a statement, APC Chairman, Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, Governor Mai Malabuni, described the First Lady as a strong advocate of community mobilization, economic empowerment of women and the well-being and education of children through the Future Assured initiative she founded. APC in the statement acknowledged that the First Lady has been a strong pillar to the leader of the party, President Muhammadu Buhari, and the APC, particularly the women's wing. And on behalf of other Nigerian women and children, Women Affairs Minister Pauline Talon praised that the Almighty will make the First Lady flourish beyond measures, says she will not be limited in accomplishing laudable feats as she continues her selfless service towards humanity. And from the family of the NTA, the Director General, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, on behalf of himself, Board of Management and the entire workforce, joins numerous loved ones and admirers in wishing the First Lady a glorious birthday. He prays God to continue to guide, protect and give her the needed longevity to continue to serve him and humanity in robust health. Similarly, the Director General, National Center for Women Development, celebrates the First Lady Aisha Buhari and described her as a benefactor and an excellent mother. The Director General commended the unflinching commitment of the First Lady at 50 towards empowering women politically and economically, particularly in protecting the rights of women and girls by speaking out against sexual and gender-based violence. Another breather beckons, but when we return, we shall tell you who has been on the move, spreading messages of peace, a bit on the aftermath of Shasha and the cushioning effect of victims. Stay with us.
It's a happy feeling when receiving all of the love coming from family.
So many recipes, creating memories every day and every night, bonding families.
Yeah. 60 years of joy, oh, yeah, yeah. So much love, oh, yeah, yeah. So much value.
For over 70 years, we've practiced healthy hygiene habits together. The world needs us to keep our fight going against germs. So let's wash our hands for 20 seconds regularly. Dettol. Protect what's worth fighting for.
How did I get here? It all started shortly after I graduated from MSTC, the Model Skills Training Center with a certificate in ICT. I successfully developed a data management program that has been called the software of the future. Thanks to its success, everyone wants it. And as you can see, now everyone wants me. But I'm not alone. The skills training programs at MSTC are equipping young Nigerians to become the next big success story. Whether it's ICT, mechatronics, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, or culinary studies, a certificate at MSTC is the way of the future. And just like me, there he is. Everyone will want you to.
ITF, developing the nation's human resource.
The new Lifebuoy hand sanitizers with 70% alcohol will kill 99.9% of germs. Now available in convenient packs. Let us all take responsibility to fight this pandemic together.
This is the Wilson family last week. This is the Wilson family this week. What's changed? What? The Wilson family got maximum entertainment for less, and now they're closer than ever. Your family can be too.
How does this work?
With world-class international channels that put the quality back in your quality time.
That's what I'm talking about.
GoTV Max will bring you and your family closer in no time. So upgrade to GoTV Max for only 2,999 naira today. Make una enjoy. GoTV, love it.
After sharing the spoils in their last meeting, Southampton will be looking to secure all 3 points when they welcome the Blues to St. Mary's. This Saturday, it's Southampton versus Chelsea on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 1:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Axis Bank, Babai Jebu, Lipton, and Close Up, in association with Gold.com.
Welcome back. Nigerian stock market striving to remain the toast of investors. Let's get details of this and more from Comfort Amadou. Good to see you again.
Thank you very much, Fatih. And anti-graft agencies calls for the establishment of a specialized crimes court to tackle issues of illicit financial flows, laundering and all forms of corrupt practices in the country. These and other key issues hampering the growth and development of the Nigerian economy took center stage at an interactive session with the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, a meeting held virtually with key players in the anti-corruption crusade. And the meeting reviewed the process of the anti-corruption fight and the way forward, with special attention to cryptocurrency.
It's an enabler for money laundering and terrorist financing. If it is a means of money laundering, a means of terrorist financing, then it's a big problem. Therefore, in between comes in the CSOs, PACAC, the media. What can we do so that we tidy up the matter of currency, our cryptocurrency, so that it becomes useful to our citizens and is not used for the wrong reasons?
Jewelries, gold, dollars, pounds, houses, estate, cars have been recovered. Nobody is giving any information because you have multiple agencies that are doing this recovery, from police to EFCC to ICPC to NLD to so many of them, custom. We need to have synergy. We need to have coordinated approach.
Now, despite the economic impact of COVID-19, the Nigerian economy has remained resilient, with the stock market striving to remain the toast of investors. Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibu Mohammed, said this when he led the virtual sounding of the closing gong to mark the end of the trading day of the Nigerian stock market this Wednesday. The Director General NTA, Malam Yakubu Ibu Mohammed, notes that although the market has been in red, it hopes that his participation will turn the fortunes of the market.
The NTA has been a partner of the capital market to provide uninterrupted dissemination of information to the public since the late 1980s. As the Nigerian Stock Exchange goes about supporting listed companies through raising capital and investing them, we have watched the Nigerian Stock Exchange grow its fortunes from its modest beginning in 1961 with a volume of about 80,500 British pounds, a total of around 38.5 trillion naira, with 1,328 companies in active status today.
And still staying with the capital market, investors sustained a losing streak in the capital market. The all-share index contracted by 0.07% to close at 40,465.32 basis points, as against minus 0.19% depreciation recorded previously. And its year-to-date returns presently at plus 0.48%. FBN Holdings, Transcorp and Guarantee were the most active to boost the market turnover. All right, Fatih, I know you still have extra news for us.
Yes, I do. I have a whole lot.
Take it away.
Thank you so much, Comfort, for the business package. Now, a leading dairy company in West Africa, Fan Milk PLC, has taken another giant step to expand its investment portfolios in Nigeria by signing a memorandum of understanding with the Ogun State government to boost local production of dairy products in the state. Lekon Agbode reports.
The partnership agreement between Farm Milk PLC, a Donald company, and Ogun State government is to step up global requirements in dairy farming, create job opportunities, and by extension empower local communities. The expansion will also boost the impact of the federal government initiative in achieving food sufficiency in the country and serves as model in supporting local suppliers, purchasing feed locally, and collecting milk directly from farmers.
The idea is to develop the production of local cows. For the time being, local cows produce a very limited quantity of milk, much less than in France or in Europe. And there are many techniques to increase and develop this productivity. So the aim is for Fan Milk to be able to produce their yogurt or ice cream with more local products, and that will reduce the import for Nigeria, that will save hard currency for Nigeria, and that will also create jobs for Nigerian people. So I think it is really a win-win situation for everyone.
Which is to create a focused and qualitative governance whilst creating an enabling environment for a public-private sector partnership.
Chairman Farm Milk Olayinka Akikugbe says more job seekers will be engaged to expand production of dairy products locally.
This is an opportunity for us, starting with this dairy backward integration, to move further into the country to expand our business.
The establishment of Farm Milk Donald Dairy Training Institute at Odeda in Odeda local government area of the state, according to the company, will train local dairy farmers on the international best practices of dairy farming. Incorporated in 1960, Farm Milk PLC, a Donald company, began production of local nutrition, dairy, and juice food products in Nigeria since 1963. In Abeokuta, Lekan Agbonde, NTA News.
And beneficiaries of the federal government's MSME payroll grant under the Alimosho local government area in Lagos State have been testifying to the usefulness of the grant in sustaining their businesses, especially during COVID-19. Awal Yusuf Jibo reports the grant is provided by the Bank of Industry, whose aim is to render financial assistance to large, medium, and small projects.
Wodu Uchechukwu, a manufacturer, and Chizoba Mudi, a teacher, are among the beneficiaries of the federal government's MSME Survival Fund payroll support.
I got so many calls from all the staff, and they got series of funds, and we were all happy when we saw that all our staffs were really happy receiving those funds.
Really appreciate God for federal government for wiping away our tears, because when the pandemic came, in fact, we didn't know what to do.
The federal government initiative began in September 2020 with the sum of 7.5 billion naira grant to help businesses at risk due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This sounded too good to be true for Nicholas Johnson and many others like him.
Despite the doubt here and there, but it's better to take a step and fail than not taking a step at all. We tried the process. We got our staff. Not all of them believed in it. For the few of us that believed in it, they gave us our BVN. They got registered, and before you knew it, the amount started coming in.
This gathering of people is an engagement between Bank of Industry and beneficiaries to get feedback on how impactful the initiative has been and to reaffirm the federal government's commitment to supporting businesses and livelihood following the economic impact of COVID-19.
But I've also had the Artisan Support Fund, which was a one-time 30,000 grant that went to artisans. So there's also the Guaranteed Off-Taker Fund that is being rolled out. And then there's another component that helps businesses register business names for free. So these are several components that are also still being rolled out.
Since inception of the MSME Survival Fund, payroll support of between 30,000 naira to 50,000 naira have been given to 332,205 employees from 51,435 businesses across several sectors in Nigeria. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
And succor has come the way of some of the victims affected by the ethnic crisis at Shasha area, with cash relief of 18.5 million naira provided by the Kano State Governor, Abdullahi Ganduje. Correspondent Shala Wahid has the report.
Following the crisis that erupted between traders in Shasha Market, which led to the looting and burning of houses and shops, the Kano State government has given out 100,000 naira each to 185 affected Kano indigenes. Representatives of Kano State government said the money is meant to bring succor to the victims so that they can sustain themselves pending the time a lasting solution will be preferred.
So we are trying as much as possible. We have their list, we have their telephone numbers, and we'll try as much as possible to trace them.
Some of them are wearing only one clothes because of the situations. They left the market abruptly, so they are not in a position to even get another clothes to wear. So
to give them support, because many are saying they don't even have a penny in their pocket even to eat because all their properties were burnt down.
Kano State government urged everyone to shun violence and imbibe the spirit of loving one another to strengthen harmonious relationship in the country. The team also interacted with some of the victims to note their challenges and complaints for any further intervention from the Kano State governor. In Ibadan, Shola Wahid, NTA News.
In the meantime, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has promised to provide relief materials to households displaced by the recent Shasha crisis. This came to the fore during the agency's assessment visit to the scene of the incident in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Grace Bamidele has the details.
Still counting their losses to the unfortunate incident, the victims expressed displeasure while calling on government for assistance. Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, represented, appealed to the two ethnic groups at Shasha to embrace peace and live in oneness as they were known for before the crisis.
The team you are seeing here is to further strengthen the team on ground in Ibadan, to carry out detailed damage assessment of the destruction that took place in this market, with a view to submitting its report for rehabilitation by federal government.
The relief items, which would include food and non-food items for the rehabilitation of all affected persons, are presently being processed to be distributed directly at locations identified within Ibadan Metropolis. Earlier, at a meeting with the state government, the governor, represented by his deputy, promised maximum support during the assessment and eventual distribution exercise in Ibadan. Grace Bamidele, NTA News.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, has sympathized with families of the children who died in Zamfara Wednesday while playing with an explosive. In a statement, the minister expressed sadness that at least 6 children who reportedly went in search of firewood in a bush located in Magami village in Maradun local government area of Zamfara state died while playing with the explosives. Sadia Umar Farouk described the death of the innocent children as untimely and heartbreaking, while calling on the concerned authorities to ensure that explosives don't get into the wrong hands. And former Minister of Communications Adebayo Shitu says the regulation of social media platforms will serve as an effective tool in containing rising cases of crimes and other forms of insecurity threatening the corporate existence of the country. Abakar Usman Akwanga reports that the former minister is speaking against the negative role of social media in the breach of peace in Shasha, Oyo State.
Negative use of the social media has caused many countries huge losses, including human lives, and Nigeria is not an exception. The former Minister of Communications, Shitu Adebayo, condemned the role of social media platforms in escalating the Shasha crisis in Oyo State through misinformation and sharing of fake pictures. He called for the regulation and enforcement of social media platforms under the jurisdiction of law and other legal procedures.
Those who put up falsehood, which is capable of, bringing about insecurity in the country or in the society must be held responsible for the consequences of their indiscretions. So I am, appealing very strongly that government cannot afford to shy away from its initial effort to bring about regulation to social media.
Adebayo Shitu decried the decline in moral values and appealed for ethical reorientation to turn the tide of social media-induced crisis. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Two cultural giants, the Nigerian Television Authority NTA and the National Council for Arts and Culture, are playing the part of town crier by expanding the anti-rape campaign and taking the message across Nigeria as they prepare to inaugurate a committee which will set out all the modalities. Naja'atu Tijani reports.
It's a meeting of two cultural giants who use traditional and new means of spreading information to preserve national unity by promoting cultural values. Handing over this frame made from materials symbolizing Nigeria's cultural values and hope for a rape-free future, the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) and the National Council for Arts and Culture are on a mission to put a stop to what the Director General Otumba Olusegun Runshewe calls a pandemic.
Sometimes the victim of rape become victimized. So it is time we must come together to say no to rape as a people. NTA being the biggest and the largest television network in Africa will be the best partners to convey this message to all over the country.
For the NTA, which is passionate about seeing an end to the menace, even showing support to victims with an aggressive campaign which started in 2020, the timing is apt and warrants the formation of a committee.
The confidence reposed in us by Nigerians through Mr. President is justified, and this is one way of doing it.
Statistics show that there was an increase in gender-based violence and rape of vulnerable groups, including boys and men, and the soon-to-be inaugurated committee is also expected to lead the media, which Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, says will reflect the moral values of the nation. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
Sure, it would, Naja. The court marshal of the FRSC, Boboye Oyeyemi, has embarked on advocacy against conveyance of animals and humans in trailers from the north to southern part of the country. To this end, the court marshal visited the Sokoto State Governor and the Sultan of Sokoto. Sheikh Mohammed Detti has the report.
The Co-Marshal Dr. Boboye Oyeyemi was moved to embark on the advocacy by the increase in the rate of road crashes by such trailers, leading to loss of lives and property.
We have observed a serious increase in crashes. By the end of last year, Your Excellency, we recorded a total of 669 crashes involving these trucks carrying animals and human beings. And the funniest thing is that with this, we also lost 457 lives.
Governor Amin Waziri Tambol described the visit as a launching pad of the advocacy, saying state government must collaborate in stopping the menace of merging animals with humans on trucks along the nation's highways. He noted that law will be formulated to sanction defaulters. Other than that, traditional institutions will be engaged in the advocacy process to guarantee success.
It's important for us to save lives, and we must not lose any single life due to our non-observance of either traffic rules and regulations.
The co-marshal was also at the Sultan Palace, where he called on the Sultan to intervene through enlightening the masses at grassroots on the dangers associated with overloading and other road traffic offences. Sultan Muhammad Saad, while welcoming the advocacy, challenged the co-marshal to reach out to all the relevant stakeholders with a view to giving the matter a holistic approach. He called on the federal government to provide more railway lines across the country to reduce dependence on the roads. Addressing staff of the Corps in Sokoto State, Co-Marshal Oyeyemi challenged them to remain committed in enforcing traffic rules as well as compliance with the executive order on COVID-19 protocols. In Sokoto, Shu Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
So far, so good. The next segment takes us into the world of COVID-19 and another equally dreaded disease threatening to rear its ugly head and efforts at keeping it at bay. We shall tell you about these and more after this interval. To stay with us.
Hello, I bring you wonderful news. The village headmaster is coming back to your screen. Mo wire abi mi o wire. Teacher no more. A fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Teacher jọ̀wọ́. A fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Ọmọ onírẹsì ti dé.
Na better school for last gidi. Not be all this on a rugged school for Ijabi. I don't know for you.
Second, it's called Oja Village. Kadesi. We not happy at all.
And I know that even you too, you are getting a lot of orders. Hey, we are trying, Shao. Sweep her leg out. She was standing there. Sweep it.
I love you so much.
And how did I give you the impression that I was interested in that position?
50-year anniversary.
You mean anniversary?
I mean, it's I talk with that now.
Not for me.
You want me to die?
Not for me because of Pamio.
Sharing the spoils in their last meeting, Southampton will be looking to secure all 3 points when they welcome the Blues to St Mary's. This Saturday, it's Southampton versus Chelsea on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 1:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Axis Bank, Babai Jebu, Lipton, and Close Up in association with Gold.com.
Thanks for staying. News just reaching us says Governor Abubakar Sani Bello has formally briefed President Muhammadu Buhari over the recent attack on Government Science College Gagara in Rafi local government area of Niger State. The governor, who visited the affected area on a fact-finding visit, brought the president up to speed on efforts at rescuing the abducted students as well as ensuring that perpetrators are brought to justice. President Buhari, who had promptly dispatched a team of security chiefs to coordinate the rescue operations, expressed serious concern over the loss of a student in the unfortunate incident and promised not to relent until normalcy is restored in the nation's security situation. Governor Sani Bello told NTA News that his engagement with the president was fruitful and reassuring.
I came in this evening to thank Mr. President for his quick response to the plight of Nigerians following 2 serious abductions, kidnap incidences. And at the same time, we rubbed minds on what we think should be done so that we find an everlasting solution to it. Mr. President has confirmed to me that this matter will be given proper attention, and we will continue engaging the service chiefs at the federal so that we can guide them and advise them on what we think should be done. So I think it was a wonderful meeting this evening.
So having met the president, what assurance can you give to Kagara community and the entire Nigerites?
To be honest, I'm very convinced from what Mr. President told me, and I feel I have seen presence of the military in Kagara. I was there earlier on today, and I also request for some additional personnel and equipment, which I believe will be granted any moment from now. Right now, our immediate priority is to get the kidnapped victims released. After that, I think we must have a long-lasting solution to the farmers-herdsmen conflict.
Do you subscribe to the recent call by the Senate for the declaration of a state of emergency on security in this country?
Well, at the moment, if you look at what is happening, we're having security challenges in almost every part of the country. So yes, I agree there is a need to install some form of emergency on security matters across board. So yes, I think the Senate acted in good faith. Something definitely needs to be done.
Well, that was the Niger State Governor. Now, COVID-19 is not a disease that can be treated in any healthcare facility, but only those certified by the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and CDC. The Federal Medical Center, Ondo State, is one of such and the only referral center for COVID-19 patients in Ondo State. Toyin Batire was on a tour around the medical facility and reports that the hospital is now better positioned to serve the people.
The environment here is beautiful and the atmosphere calm, but this 32-year-old facility is in the crucial business of saving lives, especially in this pandemic period. The Federal Medical Center in Ondo State is the only medical facility approved by the federal government as a diagnostic and treatment center for COVID-19 and Lassa fever in Ondo and Ekiti states. The coronavirus pandemic that's taken the world by storm may not totally be all about bad news. The case of the Federal Medical Center, Ondo State, speaks of the good news in COVID-19.
If you look at the dialysis center there, we have assistance from various bodies, starting from NCDC, then the state government, as well as Federal Ministry of Health. We have been able to complete another isolation center. With the money released by Federal Government of Nigeria, we have equipped it, ready to move in.
The hospital has indeed benefited from the huge attention to COVID-19, especially with the state-of-the-art molecular testing laboratories, isolation centers, and increased number of ventilators. Since last year, when the pandemic started in Nigeria, the hospital has conducted 8,100 COVID-19 tests, out of which 1,059 came out positive and 154 cases active. 7 patients are currently on admission at the hospital's isolation center.
Come here often to even ask about is there any complaint? Is there anything? Do I need anything? I feel much better now.
Nurses and doctors speak of a conducive environment they work in, with adequate state-of-the-art equipment as well as provision of personal protective equipment.
It's been challenging. We are committed to it and we are very dedicated to the job. So by the time we see our patients going back home, ill and healthy, we feel happy about it.
Right from this place, we can hold meetings with other collaborators in research, even in case management and every other thing that we need to know outside the country. So all the facilities for teleconferencing is within this facility.
The management of the hospital says with new facilities, the hospital can now provide specialized treatment of patients suffering other serious conditions apart from COVID-19 and Lassa fever. In Ondo State, Toyin Batire, NTA News.
Following the resurgence of Ebola in Guinea last week, A red alert system has been put in place by port health officials at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, to prevent the importation of the virus and other infectious diseases into the country. Aviation correspondent Emmanuel Anyimiro reports that the issue of false declaration on the information portal capable of misleading health officials by arriving passengers is also being addressed.
What entails here is that every passenger that just arrived is expected to submit a travel document for confirmation as whether or not such passenger has a permit to travel after conducting the compulsory PCR test for COVID-19.
A passenger with a temperature considered not within the normal range is subjected to a secondary check, particularly now that Nigeria is making efforts at tackling infectious diseases.
We have put in place additional measures to capture Ebola in the course of surveillance. Okay, so we have updated the health declaration form, we have on the portal, we have sensitized the teams on ground, we've sent out point of entry alerts to stakeholders.
Fake COVID-19 test has been a trending issue. What is the latest?
So for inbound passengers coming in with fake results, we're putting something on the portal now that will check the PCR test results that have been uploaded, and we will remotely contact the labs and get a feedback as to the status of that PCR test result. And the fake result is detected, they must complete the registration, pay for the day 7 test, and then we hand them over to aviation security, the crime unit.
The fact that children less than 10 years old and diplomats are exempted from payment of in-country tests has led to several misinformation and falsehood on the portal.
So for non-diplomats, the diplomatic status is removed so that they can now choose a lab and pay for the day 7 test. And then those for adults, adults who register as children, they're also made to match, to edit the information on the portal to match the age that is on their passport, their international passport. After then, they also choose a lab and then make payment, and then they can proceed on their trip.
Those planning to evade required tests has Abuja Mobile Court waiting for them. Emmanuel Anyimiro, NTA News.
To sports now. Super Falcons set to meet CSKA Moscow in the Turkish Women's Cup. Details on our sports update.
Super Falcons will on Thursday morning begin the chase for Turkish Invitational Women's Cup against CSKA Moscow in Antalya, Turkey. The Nigeria senior women's team, which arrived Turkey on Monday alongside its technical crew, have intensified preparations after undergoing a compulsory COVID-19 test on Tuesday. The match is the first since assumption of coach Randy Waldrum. Still on football, as the Nigeria Professional Football League prepares for match day 11 across the country, the Nigeria Football Federation has reassured on its commitment towards ensuring that all laid down guidelines for COVID-19 regulations are strictly adhered to by all the clubs. NFF Task Force Committee on COVID-19 promised not to leave any stone unturned in saving the lives of players and officials.
We have started going around and to ensure that the protocol are being observed, and then we are having total support from the teams as well as the state FAs and the leagues itself.
To tennis now. In the Australian Open, former world #1 Rafael Nadal failed to reach the 2021 semi-finals as the Spaniard lost 6-3, 6-2, 6-7, 4-6, 5-7 to Stefano Tsitsipas, who will now meet Daniil Medvedev on Friday. And that's sports updates. I am Tamara Ebiwe.
A 3-day Fidal prayer was offered in Yola in honor of late Hajia Mariam Ahmadu Gogosong, a stepmother to the First Lady Aisha Buhari. Buhari Nafisa Abdullahi Dembos reports.
Hundreds of sympathizers trooped into Yola to commiserate with the family of the First Lady on the death of Mariam Ahmadu Gogosong, who died recently at the age of 89. The deceased was described as humble and God-fearing, whose contributions to the family and her immediate community will be greatly missed.
Everybody is her child. Let's learn a lesson from her. A great leader to us, is a pillar in our family. We lost her, we miss her.
Very big detress.
This is a national loss for every child because of her caring.
She constantly prayed for me and supported me.
A 3-day Fiddaw prayer was offered for Allah to grant her into Jannatul Fiddaus and to comfort the family she left behind. Hajia Mariam Ahmadu died last Saturday in Abuja after a brief illness. She is survived by 3 children, including Musa Halilu Ahmed Chiroma, Dujima Adamawa, and was a stepmother to the First Lady, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. In Yola, Nafisatu Abdul Hamid Dembos, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the First Lady Aisha Buhari has expressed appreciation to all those who sent messages of condolence on the passing of Hajia Mariam Ahmadu, which happened on Saturday, February 13, 2021. The First Lady says she appreciates the outpour of emotions from Nigerians from all walks of life at this sad moment through the expression of sympathy and words of condolence. She therefore wishes to appreciate the kind gesture and thank all for sharing with her family at this moment of grief and in their efforts to comfort them. While her family prays God to grant their mother eternal rest, the First Lady also prays for peace and national cohesion in their country. In the meantime, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Bas Mustafa, has condoled the government and people of Lagos State over the passing of former Governor Lateef Kayode Jakande. In a condolence letter to the Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, SGF Bas Mustafa described Alhaji Jakande as fine gentleman and notable journalist who distinguished himself remarkably in the development of Nigeria. He noted that the country has lost a rare gem whose politics was laced with convictions, selflessness, and without bitterness. He prayed God to grant him eternal rest. Similarly, SGF Bas Mustafa condoled with the people and government of Adamawa State over the passing of the former Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Gambo Jimeta. He praised his dedication, brilliance, and relentlessness as Inspector General of Police, National Security Advisor, and Minister of Agriculture under different dispensations. The SGF is praying for the repose of the soul of the departed, noted his devotion and patriotism to the growth of Nigeria. And on that note, we conclude News Extra for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I am Fatima Omaruba. Please stay safe.